My job at this point is to program and do a small test to the VIDAR boards. Get them in a box, jacks. I have my own transformer. Okay. First thing I've got to do is program it. And for that I only need this guy. Plug it in. Turn up my Variac. I only do it about halfway, even though there's just the one thing plugged in. It's enough for the programming chip to get power. And then plug in my programmer. Helps if I turn it on. And the power button. And then there we go. Lights flashing. You can see that. So that's programmed. And down the Variac. And then I plug actually all the rest of the stuff in. Now you got to be very careful when powering this up, not to touch, well, mainly these guys here. Once I power this up, it's charged. There's power inside the caps, and you can touch that, you can touch that, you can touch that, you can touch that, but if you touch any of them at the same time with the caps charged, it's gonna hurt. And I haven't experienced that yet, but I am pretty sure at some point I will. Turn down the bias pots because we want it to actually work. Okay, and then from here, all I need to do is turn the Variac up halfway for maybe a second. So I'm going to do that halfway and make sure we have 4 LEDs on the inside. Yes, we do. And then I'm going to turn it down. If I turn it up all the way without heat sinks on it, shit's going to blow up or fry or get too hot and not work. So I only go halfway up, and halfway up now I need to check a voltage on each side. So all I need to do is touch the tab here. That's 32 volts, and I should get 32 volts on all 4 sides. 31, whatever, same thing. 31, and it's going to go down too, so as time goes on, it's just going to get lower and lower and lower until the caps bleed off completely. So, and then that's what we want to do. You really don't want to do anything with this board now until those caps bleed off completely, because like I said, if right now I were to touch 2 of any of these sides at all, I would have a very serious jolt, and it would hurt a lot, and I would have to go home and claim workers' comp. Okay, maybe not. And that's it. So I unplug it. Being very careful as to what I'm touching. Stick it back in the bag. And then usually there's a tray right here where I've got a whole bunch of them, a cart full of them that I send off to Cameron. And so next what you're going to see is what Cameron does to build the VIDAR. Basically, he does most of the work. He does most of the work for VIDAR, Yggdrasil, and Ragnarok. Got a Ragnarok video coming up for you at some point. And that's that. So that's my part of it. The next time you see me will be for bias, which you've already seen a video on that, but I'm going to try to get a little bit more in depth on the bias and what I'm actually doing. And so that's that.
Alright, here's the chassis unwrapping from the metal. So, sorry for the noise. Come in two per. Then some feet. 4 feet. And some screws for the feet. Power socket. So here we go. Then I will scrape a little bit of paint off so that the tape that secures the LED, that heavy duty tape, a bit overkill, but okay, so now lining posts. Put these in a certain way so that it makes it easy to solder. And then it's also the correct way that you'd want it for when you're connecting speakers to it. Our little sockets. You put 2 fuses in there, put a backup. I don't think anybody has blown yet, which is a great thing. Just put a little spare in that little pocket there if you can see it. The back that goes on the back of the socket. And here's that'll be the live fuse when it's on. Snaps in. This is nice and just kind of pops in. So this chassis is ready for a board. That'll be the part right here. Just inspecting the board for anything goofy that catches your eye right away. firing up the power module. And then I'm getting the outputs ready to be soldered to the posts. So I'm going to secure the LED because we've had issues with the LEDs falling out. So we've got some little tweak that keeps it planted. LEDs flush, and a little bit of hot glue just so it doesn't shift around during shipping. A little bit of flux burning. You can see the soldering. Okay, so this one's ready for a transformer now. I always bend the devices so they're straight. Putting sorbitane on so this reduces the noise from the transformer. And here is the transformer. Some more sorbitane. Looks good. My sweet little holder. Just tightening it down. So not too tight, not too loose. I can give this one a little more. Let's wire it up. So that's how it looks. The wiring, soldering, LEDs in, transformers on. Looks good. So I'm going to set this aside and prep the heat sinks. There's a heat sink. Goes on the side. There's a clip that holds the devices to it. Muscle memory kind of just takes a huge role here on knowing where these stickers go. I'm going to get the clips prepped. Screws out of the way. So here's the badass spring steel clips that Jason designed to keep the devices on the heatsink, and they seem to be working great. Pretty easy to install too. I'm gonna make sure the thermal sticker lines up. Looks good. I'm just gonna visual inspect them. Looks like the devices are all on the pads. There's solder blobs. Soldering looks good, wires look good. LED's good. And I'll tighten up the heat sinks. This is the pain in the ass here to keep these really tight. Not really pain in the ass, but tedious. solve them, and then I go around and just give a little slight tweak. Make sure they're all tight. It's very important. And yes, we do strip out plenty of hex wrenches from this. That's VIDAR. Everything should be good. We can change it to 230 later on if we want. And these get sent over to Tony. He's going to go ahead and do the biasing for each side. And then just throw a top on it. They look good. He'll do a second visual inspection. Transformer's good. It's not too tight. That's pretty much it. Yeah, this product gets a lot of love.
Okay, Cameron, when he brings me the VIDARs, he brings them to me in a rack of 20, like this. And then I usually have another empty rack, I'm not ready to do these yet, that I put the done ones on, and then they get burned on the rack. And then Bill takes the rack over to his desk, that way we're not having to haul VIDARs everywhere. But that's how we do this. And here you go, a rack of VIDARs without tops. Alright. Okay, next, the VIDAR comes back to me. And what we're doing right now is we're going to set the bias. And in order to do that, I need to measure the voltage across these resistors, one for each side, and I need between 0.400 and 0.500 millivolts, so not even a millivolt. It's a really small adjustment, and I gotta make sure that it's at least in between there at some point. And so that's the first thing, one of the things that we've got to do actually. This one, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to re-voltage it to 230. This one is going overseas. And so I need to basically cut some wires in here and twist them together and all that. And then after that, we are going to put the top on, and then it's done. It goes over to Bill. So to start us off, I'm going to go ahead and re-voltage this. Take the blue wire, cut it, and the white wire, cut it, this is a fun part. I'm going to pull them out, strip a little bit off there, and actually I did this on the other VIDAR video, so you probably saw me doing this. This is what I was doing. Okay, and then the way I like to do it is fan this out a little bit. Take them and twist them together. That's it. This is the transformer is set up to do both 115 and 230 volts. I always wondered why I never put a switch for this, but whatever. And then I put this little cap thingy on. Shit. Oh, that didn't work too good now, did it? Now, I don't know why, but Jason doesn't want me to solder this. So we put the cap thingy on. There we go. That on there. And then I take this and squeeze it as tight as I can. Tuck it in there, and that's we got that taken care of. Next thing we got to do is plug it in and turn it on. This is my 230 volt plug, so that I don't get them mixed up. I have a 230 is the white, and my 115 is the black. If I plug this into it, it's not really going to hurt it if it's a 230. But if I plug this into it and it's a 115, it goes kaboom. So we don't want to do that. That's why I have them different colors. So the 230 plug, get that in there, turn it on, and the light's going to flash at me until it clicks on. There we go. So like I said before, we're going to measure the voltage across this little resistor here and this little resistor here, being very careful not to zap myself, which I have done because I could easily touch this area right there, and which I have done, and it sucks, especially if it's 230. One thing about this business is you're gonna get zapped, period. It's just gonna happen. Nothing you can do about it. You get used to it after a while. Okay, so there's a point that I can turn this pot up before it starts getting me a change. I kind of already got the feel for it. And so I get it there, and then here I got 100, 200. And you probably don't even notice me turning it, but I am. It's very small, tiny adjustments. Okay, I'm at 4. Past 5, need to go down. Okay, that side's holding at 457, so 0.457 millivolts. And I go to the other side and do the same thing. Getting up there to the point. There we are. Not too far there. So, and I try to make each side even, so I want to shoot for 450-ish on this one too. And that's where it gets real cheesy, because if I'm going for an exact number on this, it makes it a little bit. A little bit more down. I'm at 465 now. I'm going to go down just a little. Hey, look at that, 456. Okay, so 0.456 millivolts. And then I'm going to check the other side, because sometimes it goes up. And it did go up, so it's 471 now. But I don't think I'm going to mess with it. I'm just going to leave it right where it is. This VIDAR is biased. Alright, so there's that. Now I'm just going to unplug, or turn it off, unplug. And now we have our top, which is pretty easy. You know, nothing to the top. But what I do have to do is slide it to the edge. And Cameron does a nice job with these wires, but we got to keep it away from the top so it fits. That's as good as it's going to get. Get the top. Put it on, line it up. Now, one thing about this is, because this is really a multiple part chassis, and I'm screwing into the heat sinks, they don't always line up exact perfectly, so you can't just zap the screws in one by one and call it done. You got to put them about halfway in each just to keep it aligned. Otherwise you end up stripping screws out, and it's not fun. So I do one at a time, a little bit. it's all lined up. Yeah. Two down here. And that's that. This VIDAR is ready to go on the burn rack. Alrighty. Cool. That's it. This is the burn rack. Well, this is how I burn VIDAR. Most everything that we burn in goes on the shelves here, but since these are such a pain in the ass to haul around, we kind of just keep them on the cart. So that way, when Bill comes to do his audio test, we just unplug them and wheel them on over. And that's that. So next we will see Bill testing the VIDAR. Action.
Get your VIDAR box, set it up.
Is there a reason why you put one on the one side first?
Just because I'm a weird lefty, and it's just easier.
Gotcha.
Just to hold it down momentarily while I get the bigger strip to seal it all up. Okay. Bottom part of the box made. Set that aside for a second.
Don't worry, that was out of frame.
VIDAR, specially made foam for it. Make sure it's nice and snug. Put your top layer on. Make sure that fits nice and snug also.
I had no idea we did it that way. That's pretty awesome.
Now get your power supply. Put it in this handy dandy protector. And if they have any add-ons, you'll see it on the order list.
That is, so it's a set of fist cables.
Yep, the XLR.
Does not come with fist cables, that's an extra order.
Yes. Make sure that's nice and snug in there. Protect. Fold it over.
And usually put it on the left side, but the camera, put it right there. Snug. Put that aside. Get your box ready. And don't forget your manual. Before I close it up, that's what it should look like. Double check, VIDAR, manual, power supply, and everything else. Any extra. Close it up. This is where I put that little one because I'm on your left. Just to hold it down temporarily. Cross hatches, just straight. Ready to go. Put the label on.
No, get out of here!
There. Okay.
Ready to ship.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Andrew.
No problem.